Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Always a pleasure to have our friends in from San Diego Oasis. I've been doing very cool things for many moons, and joining us is Kristen Amicone. She is the Director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Drew. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, So it's been 4 years now, is that right?
Something like that. It's been a long time.
That's what a pandemic does. We look great and, obviously doing some great stuff. And, talk about those very, very few of our Spotlight in the Community listeners that don't know what San Diego Oasis does. What's the mission?
Absolutely. San Diego Oasis is a local 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to enrich the lives of older adults and seniors here in San Diego. So we provide educational opportunities, physical fitness opportunities, and volunteer opportunities, which are my favorite thing.
Right. And what's so important about this, you've been in business for 35 years. You've been there 3 years. One of the things that we talk about, whether it's San Diego Oasis or, what our good friend Paul Downey does with serving seniors. You guys all work together, St. Paul's Senior Services. You guys are always doing just wonderful things for our seniors. And I have to get a little acerbic because besides you folks, we don't do a lot of great things for seniors in this country, where other countries in Europe, Native American, just absolutely relish and just look at those seniors. They got so much life in them. We're getting there, I guess. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think our country is aging.
Yes.
And I think as our country ages, we are going to naturally move toward focusing on our seniors, focusing on our older adults, because we'll be focusing on ourselves. And everyone wants to do that.
Yeah, that's so true. But it seems that it took us a while to get to that point, and you folks have always done that. And you're to the point of, no, we're going to do a little bit more than... It's going to be healthy. It's going to be something that is going to give activities to the brain and physical and so forth. So I think that's terrific. Talk about what your role is.
Absolutely. So I was hired on a few years ago to run our intergenerational programs. So my personal mission is to bring older adults and seniors together with our kids, with people 18 and younger who really need a mentor, who need a friend, who just need someone to spend time with them and to give them that attention that is just so crucial to development.
Right, exactly. So who's benefiting from this? The seniors or the youth, or both?
Both.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that makes all the sense in the world. How's that program gone?
Oh, it's gone so well. So prior to the pandemic, we had about 400 tutors throughout the county. Obviously, the pandemic put a damper on things for a little while, but now we're finally seeing schools open up. We're seeing volunteers welcomed back into the community in really big ways. So as of this year, we already have about 150 tutors back in schools, and we're doing more trainings, and we need volunteers. So if anyone's interested, they can always contact us and join.
Yeah, and I think the key is with anything when you're working with, doesn't make a difference how old you are, but especially in the senior world, is to treat them with the utmost respect. That doesn't happen all the time. And dignity, of course, no matter where they are in their mental or physical state. Talk about how important that is when working with seniors.
Oh, it's absolutely vital. Everyone wants to feel respected. Everyone wants to have that little piece of dignity lent to them. And I'll tell you what's really interesting about intergenerational programs is that it's not just the older adult and senior getting the respect, it's the kid too. So we're bringing these two people together who really can see eye to eye in a really interesting way, can give each other that respect, can create a relationship. And as you said earlier, it really does benefit both.
Yeah, without question. How many seniors go through your programs?
Oh my gosh, annually,
Yeah.
thousands.
Thousands,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And you have different, we're going to get to the Rancho Bernardo site in a few minutes here, but how many different locations do you have?
Right now, we have a specific location in Escondido that belongs to us.
Right.
We have a location in Grossmont Center,
Right.
which people are welcome to stop by whenever they like.
Right.
And then, as you said, we're creating a new space in Rancho Bernardo.
All right, we're going to jump to that right now over here, just because I can't wait to get into it over here. Full disclosure, I'm honored to be a San Diego Oasis advisory board member. You know, you foolishly said yes, and so you're stuck with me in that aspect of it. But talk about the Rancho Bernardo site.
Absolutely. So we're so excited. Late last year, we were able to purchase a building, which, if you know nonprofits, you know that doesn't happen all that often.
Not much.
But wow, we have so much support in the community. We have such a wonderful board of directors. And we really just started moving in this direction because older adults and seniors need a place to live. And we saw that Rancho Bernardo is really a good space because there are so many older adults and people aging into being an older adult or senior in the area. And we were able to purchase a 2-story building.
Yes.
It's going to be gorgeous.
It is.
And we're looking for a 2023 opening, so just a few months from now.
Right, so you're in the middle of a nice capital campaign, and you've already raised how much?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know it's pretty significant.
It is.
And as you guys are heading down to the backstretch and all that business, and really encourage people to take a look at that. I know there's going to be an event on October 2nd, which is pretty cool with some of the community leaders in that area. But getting back to what you folks do, we'll get to the intergenerational summer camps in a second. We're chatting with Kristen Amicone, director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. But you folks offer a million things to seniors, right? There is art classes, there's language classes, there's music, there's dance, matter of fact, there's no topic you don't touch. Is that true?
It's true. If someone has an interest in it, we will have a class for it.
Right, exactly. And is it taught by seniors themselves? Could be.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes, yeah. It just depends on who we have who has expertise in the area
Right.
and is willing to lend their time.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole thing, is getting the time in this. So talk about the summer, camp that you folks just did.
Oh, this was so exciting. So this year we had a first-time event in cooperation with the San Diego Foundation and San Diego Unified School District. They invited us in to host intergenerational summer camps at 2 different school sites. So what that entailed is bringing a group of kids in and a group of older adults in, and we gave them both a summer camp experience. So the kids got books to take home every day because, as you know, literacy is a big focus for us.
Right.
They were able to meet reptiles. They were able to launch paper rockets, so they learned about engineering. We learned about shapes and water tension with bubble magic. It was just an incredible experience, and we're so grateful to have been able to have had that.
So how many students participate in that? Do you know offhand?
We had about 20 to 25 per week, so
Okay.
let's say about 45, 50. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's great. And it's something you're going to continue even through the fall, or hard to do with the kids are in session? Will you offer it on weekends too, or are you going to probably wait to gin this back up next summer?
I think it's going to be a summer-specific program so that we
Right.
can drive to it, make it a real success, and then go back to our tutoring in the school year.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Talk about the tutoring. What does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. Our tutoring program has been around for decades. We have volunteers working with us who've been with us for 20 years in some cases. And what they do is they go into a school site, actually in person, and they're paired with a single student, and they meet with that student once per week through the whole school year. They focus on reading, they focus on literacy, and by the end of the school year, that student who might have been struggling at the beginning is now reading at grade level.
Yeah.
They're more likely to raise their hand in class, and they're less likely to be truant. So this is just a magical program. I'm just so proud of it.
Yeah, one thing that's so great about the seniors, and we're going to see some more of them on our Spotlight show later on in the programming, is they have so much information to share. Do a lot of the seniors that you work with, do they also come into the classrooms and the lecture as well as tutor?
Not really. Some do. Some are classroom volunteers as well. But our focus really is that one-on-one attention for both sides, and to make sure that there is a friendship building there and that there's someone that the kid can count on coming in every week.
Right. So do you sell out of your programs? I mean, we know there's a lot of seniors in San Diego County, and there's only so much space. Do you have waiting lists at all?
Waiting list for our classes?
Yeah.
For some, yes. I'll tell you, one of our more popular classes at the moment is called cardio drumming. So
dig into that one a little bit.
I know. Yeah. If you can imagine an exercise ball.
I can.
Where people are seated, and then there are drum apparatus around, and basically you're working out while also making music as a group. It is the most fun to watch. And
Now, have you participated in that?
I have not. Because they're full.
Because they're full, right, exactly. And then what's the website where you can find out all this information about San Diego Oasis?
SanDiegoOasis.org.
Right. And these courses, is there a fee for them?
For most, yes, but it's a nominal fee. So the most expensive class you'll find is right around $15 or $20, but most are $5 or $10 per.
Right. And do those classes last a week? Do they last? Are they a few days? How does that work? It depends, obviously, I'm sure.
Absolutely depends. You mentioned language classes earlier.
Right.
So the language classes tend to be a little bit more expensive because you're buying them in a pack. So it's more like a college class where you're going to this specific class with this specific, student base,
right?
And you're meeting together over a number of weeks.
Right.
So you're paying for the whole series. But for a one-off, let's say cardio drumming, you can get an a la carte class and you can just go once.
Right. I know one of the things that you folks have always hung your hat on, Kristen, is partnerships and collaboration, and not just with senior groups, with groups all over. The schools, you mentioned that aspect. What other partners do you work with? Do you work with Cox Communication? Do you work with SDG&E?
Absolutely. Well, I would love to talk about Cox Communications for just a second.
You can.
Earlier this year, we opened up our Cox Tech Tank. And this is just a beautiful space in our center in Grossmont Center, where older adults and seniors can come and learn about technology. So they can do small group sessions, 4 or 5 people. They can come as just their own individual with a staff member and ask a specific question and learn things like how to connect Bluetooth, how to send an email, how to increase the brightness on their screen to make it more legible. Some people have low hearing or low vision. How do you use technology and work around those challenges? These are really important things, and sometimes you just need someone to sit with you for 20 minutes, guide you through patiently, and explain the thing.
Good, because I'm going to have somebody right after our interview, like you, come to my car and show me why my Bluetooth isn't working. It hasn't worked for 2 days, and I've done everything my 28-year-old daughter said. Dad, you're not doing X. I'm doing everything you said, and it's not working. So that's so funny you brought up Bluetooth. And technology just confounds me and probably confounds a lot of folks in that area. We come back from break, Kristen. Let's talk a little bit about more some of the other programs you're offering. Without question, I want to increase and talk about increasing the health span as we age, that aspect of it, and most importantly, what we can do to support those efforts. Certainly contribute to the new Rancho Bernardo building, so to speak, the space you're going to open up next year. But what other things can people, the volunteers, I'm sure, are needed, maybe a product in that. So think about that when we come back from break. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Thank you.
You bet. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for more than 60 years. We're going to be right back with Kristen Amicone, Director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing terrific things to San Diegans for 60 years. We're chatting with Kristen Amicone. She is the Director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis, venerable seniors organization for 35 years, and now going to be opening up a very cool place in Rancho Bernardo, and look on their website for more details on that. Talk about increasing health span as we age. What's that all about?
Absolutely. So we all age. We will all reach the end of our life. And what we want is to maintain our mental and physical health while we do so. And I think that's important for everybody. And there are steps we can take to make sure that our health span keeps up with our lifespan. Things like keeping physically active, keeping mentally active, keeping connected to our community, and making sure that as we think about our legacy in life, we can look back and say, I have touched people, I have done something, and I have stayed active and happy while doing it. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about health span.
But you're so spot on that, is that, people are always talking about, am I going to outlive my money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you should be more concerned about outliving your health, and that's an excellent point. And money doesn't mean squat if you're not healthy in that aspect, in both the mind, of course, and as well as the body in that area. Talk about some of the challenges as we age.
Mm-hmm.
And we know one of our frequent guests are folks from the Alzheimer's Association in San Diego, because we're aging longer, because we're living longer. That's something that comes with that, of course. But loneliness and isolation are probably at the top of the list of the biggest concern when working with seniors, correct?
Absolutely. It's an epidemic at this point, and it's not just the United States, it's actually worldwide.
Right, right. So, this is where those intergenerational programs are just absolutely paramount, for that matter, and so forth. And, we all think about, well, thank God I've got a brother, I got a sister, I've got an aunt, I've got an uncle, I got someone, but there are a ton of people, it's just them, correct?
It's just them. And especially in the last few years when we weren't necessarily able to leave the house, it became harder to see people. How do you connect? So we talked about technology before the break, and that technology piece became so important because all of a sudden people had to know how to FaceTime. They had to know how to Zoom. And that's very difficult, especially if you can't see the screen, if you can't read the words, and if you don't have this sort of intuitive knowledge of how to make something start.
Right.
It's just become very difficult. So one of the programs that we started during the pandemic is our Bridging the Digital Divide program, where we partner with local organizations, much like SDG&E, and they give us funding so that we can provide to low-income seniors a tablet, 12 months of internet, classes from San Diego Oasis to build that community space, and most importantly, training. So one of my colleagues, David Beavers, goes and actually trains people one-on-one and in small groups to use these tablets to make sure that they actually don't collect dust for the next year, that they're in use, and that they help the person's life.
You bring up a really good point that I think some folks lose track of. We talk about it a lot in the K-12 space, the digital divide. And we know if you're not up to snuff with the right software, the right hardware, you will be left at the starting line. And it's very critical, and it's a big concern in the K-12 space, but equally as much in the senior space as well. And when you think about it, as more and more companies, I'm not going to use paper anymore. I'm not going to mail this out to someone to fill it at handwrite, and you're going to have to use your computer, and then we're going to give you some complicated program that this people on space station Mir can't figure out, for God's sake, And now you're going to go, where do I, do this? That is just so critical. And we got to narrow that digital divide with the seniors too, correct?
Absolutely. And you even see that in healthcare. We had a woman who called us in a panic, trying to get on in this program, trying to get a tablet, trying to get training, because her doctor's office kept emailing her. And she tried to call, and it was really difficult to get in touch with a nurse, and she was just having a really hard time communicating. She was trying to schedule a hip replacement. She was in tremendous pain, and the only access she had to technology was at a library.
Oh, my goodness.
And we love our libraries. They give us so much, but they're not open 24 hours a day. They can't be.
Right.
So this woman just needed something in her hands to be able to talk to her doctor. We were able to put that tablet in her hand, and she was able to schedule that hip replacement. But these are the things we talk about when we talk about that bridging the digital divide, that people it's just vital to their lives, and they need it.
Well, especially in the 21st century, and it's even going to get even more just so important as robotics and AI continue to grow. There's some great spaces for that, but usually that means you're not talking to a live voice, and I just want to talk to a live voice and not to some Max Headroom type of guy. I'm dating myself now, and my listeners are going, "What are you talking about? For God's sake!"
I love that show.
That's right, exactly. Well, listen, I always have people have to go to the Googler. You know what? I have to go to the Googler a lot when you talk, and figure out what the heck you're talking about, like most people do. But I think what's great about San Diego Oasis, you're talking about some of the courses, iPhone 101. Phone apps, Microsoft Office, sending email. That's easy to do. Well, not if you've never done it before. Exactly. And you're just totally, shut out on that. We are chatting with Kristen Amicone. She is the Director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Spotlight on the Community. So what can our listeners do to enhance the work that you are doing and, of course, San Diego Oasis as a whole?
Absolutely. Well, donations are always welcome.
Right.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We're looking to open this new location, and we're looking to continue our work throughout the county. So donate. Our website makes it very easy. We are always looking for volunteers, everything from being at the front desk and answering phones to being an intergenerational tutor and everything in between. We really do have something for everybody. We also are doing a book drive right now. So
Nice.
If time is of the essence and really you're just looking for something quick to do, we are accepting brand new books at our Grossmont location to go out to kids in Title I schools.
Now, do you work with the San Diego Council on Literacy?
Absolutely, we do. They're
Right.
our best friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Full disclosure, I've been on that advisory board because I'm old. No, it was started by Mrs. Helen Copley, the former publisher and owner of the San Diego Union Tribune in 1986. And, it's going strong still, and the Union Tribune still is a big supporter of it. But I'm so glad to hear that because they provide a lot of books, out to the community. And there's nothing more important, especially for those seniors as well as for the young kids, when you have your own book. It's not Joe Blow's book. It's not my sister's book. It's my book. And that's such a big deal. Any final thoughts?
Well, on that vein, I just want
Please.
to say that people might not know that low-income kids, over 60% of them have no books at home. So
Right.
this really is extremely vital, and we appreciate everything the community has done to make sure that our programs are successful. And thank you, Drew, for making sure that we have a loud voice.
Well, listen, we can't, I'm just a little pawn, in this whole scheme of things here, but we all need to be doing this. We all need to be rowing in the same direction. And as you worked with me for a while, you got to amplify these voices. And who knows who's listening out there that has my Girl Scout group needs to be part of this intergenerational deal. And we'll be featuring them in a while and that aspect of it. And just the feeling of giving back and getting those kids into the habit is so critical. Well, Kristen, good seeing you again. Give my best to Simona, the unbelievably high energy CEO of San Diego Oasis. I don't think she ever sleeps, for that matter. I don't think you do much of that sleeping as well. And then let's do this. As we say quite a bit on the show, and I think you know this. We love to have the constituents that have benefited from that organization services. So maybe next time you're on, why don't we bring in a senior or seniors that would even better? Why don't we bring in a youth that worked in the summer camps that was working and paired with a senior? How's that sound?
I'd love that. Thank you.
We're going to make that happen over here. We've been chatting with Kristen Amicone, Director of Intergenerational Programs for San Diego Oasis. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. doing cool things in San Diego for more than 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.